Now this video isn't for the average man. This is for the few who are hungry to rise. They're hungry for more. They're hungry to chase that best version of themselves. They're hungry for more success, more wealth, more relationship freedom, more mental and emotional freedom. They're hungry for more, whatever it might be. Now, also, as I'm going to go through, I was going to say it, but I won't say it until I get to that. I want you to understand that more isn't always better, and also more, we don't always have to keep chasing more, because we'll get to that never-ending horizon and we'll be fully focused on that and we won't appreciate what we've got. I've got a point down here for this. But most men will probably scroll past this video, right? It's just the fact of life. But there's few who will watch it and they will write it down. They will study it, they will write it down. But then there's a rare few who will actually live it. So which one are you going to be? Hey there, it's Brendan. Welcome to the video. Now, this is the thing, right? On YouTube, it's an amazing resource. Don't get me wrong, I find so much value on YouTube as well. But this is the thing, we don't value things that are free. And also because it's there, we don't put any more focus on it. We just listen to it and then that's it. I really want you to be very intentional with what you learn, what you consume. You know, if I watch a YouTube video, I'm taking notes. Like, you should see my notebook. I've got spiral bound books, loads of them, and I just take notes on everything. What's written is retained. And so I listen to things, and if I feel like there's some things that maybe I might be driving or maybe I might be doing something where I can't write down something at the time, I make a note of it somehow, and then I'll come back and listen to that again. Or I might go, right, I've got to listen from here to here in this video, and I'll do it, and then I'll take notes and write it down. It's so powerful to do that. So I hope that you take notes on this one, write things down and live it, actually live it. Like, this is 21 principles I'm going to give you, the top 0.1%. Now here's a fun fact, 0.04% of men have visible abs, right? So that's 1 in 25,000. That's ridiculous. Now, if we combine that with the millionaires, it's 0.004% of men who have six-pack and have abs. So if you want to be great, if you want to be a millionaire, multi-millionaire, and have abs, you won't just be in the 0.1% of men. You'll be in the 0.0004%, probably even more than that. You know, so it's so easy to be great these days, right? Like, having abs isn't all that hard. Like, people say, oh yeah, you know, it takes a long time. No, it's just discipline. Like, it's not genetics. It's none of that. We know through the study of epigenetics that you can change your genes so it's not the genes, right? Our environment that we live in affects our genes more than the genes we get passed down. Hey, it's Brendan. Quick interruption to your regularly scheduled video. I want to let you know of an opportunity that you have to go even deeper into this work together. Now, if you have not yet, please check out the description down below. And in there, we've got links to both Launch, our 3-day event, and also Ascend, our high performance mastermind. Now, Launch, it's our 3-day event, and it's the most ruthlessly effective event to change your brain, for you to become more aware of the subconscious programs and beliefs that have been holding you back, and to teach you the tools, the techniques, and the processes to dramatically transform those programs and those beliefs and literally rewire your brain. Again, Launch, it's our 3-day event, and we run them 5 times a year. We also have Ascend, which is our 12-month high-performing mastermind for men who are committed to their growth and who want to totally recreate themselves. I literally want to send you a new birth certificate in 12 months' time because you've grown that much. So if you're a man and you want to go fast, you want to go big, and you understand that you don't want to put off living life at your potential, and you don't want to hold on to any unnecessary stress, anxiety, fear, worry, doubt, or suffering, and you want to be liberated from those habits of thinking and live life to the fullest. So check out the links in the description, take a look at the program information and the amazing success stories from the men just like you who have gone through some of their programs, and I'll see you on the other side. And now, let's get back to the video. So, it's so easy to be great. You know, it's like we're only as strong as our weakest link. We think about that. Well, as a society as a whole, we're only as strong as our weakest link. So, no judgments, but there's quite some weak links, right? So if you want to be great, it's quite easy to get into that top 1% of men, which is the good news for you. You just got to follow these rules, right? Follow the plan. I'm just going to give you a plan. I'm give you a play. All you've got to do is just follow it. Now, most men will never rise. They will never reach that level that they want. Not because they're not capable. It's not because they can't do it or they're not good enough, but it's because no one ever handed them rules to the game. Think about it like this. If you're playing chess, you'd be so hard to play the game if you didn't actually know the rules to play chess, right? Fair to say. Well, so many people, they're trying to play the rule or the game without knowing the rules. They're trying to play this game of life without knowing the rules. Now, in one of our programs, I talk about the 12 universal laws. They're literally the laws to this game of life, like universal laws. But in this video, I'm going to give you some principles and some further rules that you can do and implement more of on a practical level that's going to make you in the top 1% of men. And these are the 21 principles the top 0.1% of men live by. And once you know them, there's no going back. Principle number 1, be misunderstood. If everyone gets you, you're not playing big enough. This is that we have such a big fear of being misunderstood or not wanting people to not understand us. The amount of people I speak to on the phone or talk to men I speak to on the phone and they're like, you know what I mean? They hear themselves say, I know, you know what I mean? It's like they're trying to get that validation and try to be understood. You know, the reason is if we're not understood as a kid, then we don't get our needs and our attention, right? The things that we need. So then we have this fear of like, I need to be understood. I need to be understood. And even when we go into relationships, like you hear it all the time, especially for females, it's like, you just don't understand me. You just don't get me. And a lot of times too, we might be learning at school and it's like, I just don't get it. I don't understand this. And we don't want to admit that. So it's all this programming about being misunderstood and not being misunderstood, right? And I always say, if people don't call you weird or strange, then you're not operating anywhere near the outer limits of your potential. Just recently, my younger sister got married and I was at a family weekend event and we stayed up there. You know, it was at the Sunshine Coast, so we stayed up there for a few days. And I was eating my food. I'm still in the process of doing 75 hard for about 185 days or something. I am now. And some of them were getting pizza. You know, my family got pizza one night. No judgments, it just is what it is, right? But I was like, no, I'm not gonna eat that. I'm just gonna eat my own food. And my nieces and my nephew were like, why are you eating that for? They were all questioning me. Just out of curiosity, like no other thing. And I was just sitting there, just enjoying it, being like, I'm sitting here eating my food, while they're eating pizza, and I'm just like, this is me. Whereas a lot of other people, they'd be like, they wouldn't want to stand out, or they wouldn't want to be understood, or they wouldn't want to get questioned. Why? You know, you need to be misunderstood if you want to be great. If you want to be in the top 1%, you have to be misunderstood, and you will be misunderstood. Because if you want to build a great life, people don't get it. People don't understand it, and because it's hard. You know, like just being easy, going to work, doing your job, coming home. It may seem hard, but it's actually really easy. You know, it's so easy to make a living. It's so easy to just get by. You know, when you actually start trying to create freedom for yourself and start a business or a side hustle or anything like this, you start finding how hard it is. I always say, like, man, you don't realize how easy you've got it when you've got a job. But when you step out to be in business, it's a full contact sport, right? It's tough, it's hard. It takes a period of time where you've just got to be in the trenches, grinding, getting it done. So that's number 1. Now, number 1 leads to number 2. Ask savage questions. The quality of your questions will determine the quality of your life. And I like to go one step further and say the level of truth you allow yourself to get to while asking quality questions. Because you can ask quality questions or good questions, but if you don't allow yourself to go there and you just give like surface level answers, you're not going to get good results, right? You're not going to get good answers back. So we've got to find the questions and allow ourselves to go there. I always say, and I was actually on a coaching call last night, and I said to someone, there was a bit of an issue with someone in their family. And I was like, well, how would it be different if you only met this person now? Like if you didn't have all of the parts that you remember of this person and you just met them for the first time today, how would it be different for you? And that question just kind of was like, wow, like it's just all the past judgments that person was putting on this person. And it's the same as, and then I went one step further and I said, okay, so how would you see yourself if you didn't remember the parts of yourself that you're remembering? And again, that was just like, wow. So my question to you would be like, if you didn't remember your limitations, if you didn't remember all of the past stuff that you've done or you haven't done, or the things and the beliefs that you've picked up, like if you didn't have them and you met yourself for the first time today, how would you feel about that person? It's a very deep question, very good question to ask. And that's the questions that I'm talking about. You ask those good questions, you'll get good answers. If you ask yourself questions like, what's the next logical step for me to do to start creating freedom in this area of my life? What's the next logical step for me to do? Start a question like that and you'll be so far ahead of so many different people. Not that it's a game, but just asking yourself quality questions. This day and age, ChatGPT, all these different AI tools, you literally can ask that to give you questions. It's an amazing world we live in. So number 3, be ruthlessly resourceful. No excuses. Find a way to make it happen or make a way. It's simple. I heard once by one of my mentors when I was thinking about joining the program, and this was like it was about $60,000 program, a 12 month program. Might have been a little bit more actually. And it was my first real big investment into my business and into my growth. I'd spent like $10,000 here and there and stuff, but $60,000, it was a decent investment. And so I heard them say, it's never a lack of resources, it's a lack of resourcefulness. If you want to do this, you'll make it happen. And that was like someone just hit me across the face with that. I was like, man, that's so true. It's like, then there was another story where he spoke about, I don't know, I can't remember the story exactly, but he was just kind of saying like, people who didn't have any money and they needed to raise some capital for a business, and they got some and they raised millions of dollars and they had nothing, and they really just kept going and going and going. After failure and failure, they eventually got the resources. And so I was like, right, I've got to do this. And I did, I made it happen. If there's a will, there's a way, always. So you've got to learn to be more resourceful with whatever you want to do. As soon as you say, oh, I can't do this, then don't take that word for it. If someone says this, when I was younger, and I'm so glad that didn't happen right now, because I'd be in a completely different spot and I probably would have gone bust very, very quickly, because I was only 23 and I had a lot of things going on. And I wanted to open a gym. I was working fly in, fly out for a while, and I was very smart with my money back then and kind of put, in investments and stuff. I might have been a little bit older actually, 24. And I wanted to buy into a world gym franchise. Anyway, so I needed to get some finance and stuff for it. I had my own capital, but I needed to get some finance, and I saw 2 banks. They both turned me down. And I can remember it was actually NAB Bank that called me because I'd put an application in, and I said, oh, I've already been turned down by 2, so it'd probably be the same. And the lady was like, oh, we might be able to do something on the other end. And I was like, no, don't worry about it, it's all good. And I literally just shut it down, and I didn't try any other avenues because 2 people said no to me. And I was like, wow, like looking back on that now, it's like, I'm so glad my mindset's changed from that. But looking back on that now, like if I was in that same point there, I would be like, there has to be a way. There will be a way. I will make it happen. Surely I'll be able to get private investors or some investors for somewhere or something. I'll make it happen. As the time of filming this right now, I'm like, I wonder if I still, that's something I could maybe pursue. So there's always a will, there's a way, right? Understand that. You've got to be more resourceful and always ask yourself, instead of I can't do this, or I don't know how this is going to happen, say, what could I do to make it happen? What could I do to make it happen? And you'll find. Number 4, give first. Lead with value, not neediness. Now this one is really key. There's a book called The Go-Giver. The Go-Giver is an amazing book, and it talks about giving. And there's actually proven, I don't know how they get this, but if you give away $1, then you get $1.60 back. Hey, it's Brendan. Quick interruption to your regularly scheduled video. I want to let you know of an opportunity that you have to go even deeper into this work together. Now, if you have not yet, please check out the description down below. And in there, we've got links to both Launch, our 3-day event, and also Ascend, our high performance mastermind. Now, Launch, it's our 3-day event, and it's the most ruthlessly effective event to change your brain, for you to become more aware of the subconscious programs and beliefs that have been holding you back, and to teach you the tools, the techniques, and the processes to dramatically transform those programs and those beliefs and literally rewire your brain. Again, Launch, it's our 3-day event, and we run them 5 times a year. We also have Ascend, which is our 12-month high-performing mastermind for men who are committed to their growth and who want to totally recreate themselves. I literally want to send you a new birth certificate in 12 months' time because you've grown that much. So if you're a man and you want to go fast, you want to go big, and you understand that you don't want to put off living life at your potential, and you don't want to hold on to any unnecessary stress, anxiety, fear, worry, doubt, or suffering, and you want to be liberated from those habits of thinking and live life to the fullest. So check out the links in the description, take a look at the program information and the amazing success stories from the men just like you who have gone through some of their programs, and I'll see you on the other side. And now, let's get back to the video. For every $1 you give, you get $1.60 back to charity. Donate it. Now, it might not happen directly, straight away, like an investment, but it might not happen from that. Most times it doesn't happen from the person that you gave it to or the thing that you gave it to. But that act of giving also helps with attachment. See, we don't get things in life that we want or that we need because we're putting out that counter intention of like, I need this, I really want this, I need this. And that becomes the obstacle, not actually getting the thing that we want. So we're putting this counter intention out of doubt, worry, I don't know, I want this, but I don't know if I'm gonna get it, I need this. And that's all of the resistance. So when we let go of that, all of this stuff that's out there can come to us. And so if we give away money or give away things that we want, then we're saying that, we're opening up that flow. They say, if you want something, give that away. So if you want more money, give some money away. It's like this saying too, if you can't save, or in this case, you can't give away $1 when you're making 10, you'll never be able to give away $1 million when you're making 10 million. It's just the way it is. So start small, like even if it's $1, just start building that habit of giving away a little bit of money. I personally donate to a few different things. Operation Underground Railroad, which saves human trafficking, and it's horrendous, some of the stories. So I, set up a regular investment and I give it away. We used to do the proceeds from our 1-day event, we used to actually send the proceeds for the event tickets to that as well. But we've run them free lately, so we haven't been doing that. But I've noticed that when I start focusing on giving, I feel good. And also things start flowing easily. So if you want to have a watch, give away a watch. If you want to have something, give it away first. Find a creative way to give it away. Now, don't put yourself under pressure, financial pressure or stress by giving away, but do it enough where it's a bit of a sacrifice. Maybe you've got to not eat out one night because you're going to give that money away. You'll be surprised the fulfillment and the happiness and the joy that comes from that. Even if you just give out $50 to someone that's in need, on the street or walking past, or pay for someone's groceries or pay for someone's fuel. Quite often I'll be at the fuel stop and there'll be someone behind me and I'll be like, just add that person and just pay it. And if they say anything to them, I'll be like, just pass it on. Pay it forward Sunday. And I feel good about that. I really feel good about it. And the more that I give away, I feel like the more comes to me. And a lot of people have this scarcity mindset of like, well, if I give it away, it's easy for you, or it's easy for rich people because they've got money to give away. It's like, no, the reason they've got money is because they're giving it away, whether it's value, whether it's services, whether it's money, they give it away first, right? So give first, lead with value. Number 5, own everything. Now, when I say own everything, I mean extreme ownership. Blame kills growth. So you got to take full control of everything in your life. Blame is the worst thing that you can hold on to. Blaming things, blaming people is a slippery downhill slope. Responsibility, the ability to respond. Now, if you aren't taking responsibility, that means you're putting control and power in someone else's hands of your life, of your situation. That then means you're just gonna be the effect to whatever they say or do. So we need to take full responsibility and own everything. Every bit that we don't like to, they're even more important to take responsibility for. You watch, when you take responsibility, you'll gain so much respect from everyone. There was a project I was on back when I was working in construction, and we built this, there's this abutment. Most people probably won't know what they are, but it's like just the end of a bridge just to kind of hold back the way of the bridge and everything like this. Anyway, so it was this big structure and we were pouring it, and then it was quite a hot day. We didn't quite have enough concrete, and the boys were vibrating and doing all this stuff, but we pulled the things off, the formwork off, and there was some big holes in the concrete, like big holes you could see straight through it, through this wall. And I was there pouring it. I wasn't necessarily on that section, but I was there pouring it, and I was running the job. And so the bosses came down, were like, who is it, who did this, blah, blah, blah. And I just said, it was me. And I took full ownership for it, full responsibility for it, in front of everyone. Not because I wanted it, because of my ego, but it was because it's like, that's my area, that's my job, I'm responsible for it, that was on me. And it was amazing. Even the boss was kind of pulled me aside a few times. He's like, you know, what happened? Like trying to get me to, you know, spill who it was. And I just kept very firm by saying, no, it was me. Like because I was the one looking after it. And you should have seen the difference that happened after that one incident. The bosses respected me more. The workers respected me more. I literally could ask them to do anything and they would do it because they knew I had their back. They knew that I would take responsibility for that because I had their back, right? Now, it's not because that I took responsibility for them and then they could just do whatever they want. No, that's not how it works, because I pulled them up if I needed to. But the level of respect that I gained just from taking ownership of my area or my things that are in my reality is amazing. So ownership is so powerful. Number 6, something I like to call the 3 L's. Learn it, live it, lead it. Learn it, live it, lead it. Knowledge means nothing if you're not living it. Similar to what I said at the start of this video, you've got to learn it, you've got to live it, and then you've got to lead it. So you learn whatever it is, you implement it into your life, and then what you do when you lead it is you pass it back on. You lead your life, you lead others with that info, right? And so you pass that information and that knowledge and that resources on. Don't hold it to yourself, pass it on. You know, the three L's, but you've got to learn it first, right? You've got to learn it and then live it. That's the 2 key ones. And then once you've embodied it, once you know, like, this is who I am now, you know, I am this person, then, you know, lead it, put it on, give it to someone else. It's like that saying of sending the elevator back down. You know, that's what you do. After you've learned something, after you've lived it, then send the elevator back down again and lead it, right? Number 7, invest in what matters. So many people, they're investing in useless things. Did you know, right? Like all of these name brands like Versace or Tommy Hilfiger, you know, like all these, even Lamborghini, Ferrari, like all of these name brands, right? That's just a person. Did we ever think about this? It's just a person. So it's like, you know, saying like, oh, I'm wearing this person. It's like you're wearing someone's name. Literally, that's all it is. It's someone's name that you're paying ridiculous prices for, to say that you're wearing someone's name. Like, why don't you put your own clothes on? Why don't you make up your own brand of who you are? It's not really worth it when you put it like that, right? But each to their own. Most of those things, people just want the status, or they want nice things, or, you know, anyway, no judgment for that, of course. However, the best investment is always in yourself, because you could invest in yourself $1,000 in yourself, right? Or you could invest $1,000 in index funds, and in 12 months time, you'll probably have $1,100 if you invested in the index funds. But if you invest $1,000 in yourself, in your own personal growth, you could 10x that, your earning and income potential, by working on yourself. So invest in what matters, and what matters is you. It's plain and simple, right? Invest in your future, invest in yourself. Now, I'm not saying don't invest into stocks or bonds or investments into the, financial things. I'm not saying that at all, but I am saying invest in yourself first. Then anything else you can put into those things, because you can only grow to the level, your wealth will only grow to your level that you're at. You can't expect to build something up here if you stay down here, right? So you've got to build yourself to here, and then what's funny is this will raise up to meet you, right? So if it's not aligned with your future, cut it, plain and simple. Cut those investments or those things if it's not aligned with where you want to go. Like for me personally, I don't invest in some things because, they might be in good investments, but I don't invest them because it doesn't interest me, and it's not aligned with, who I am or what I really value, what interests me. So I don't invest in that, right? So invest in what matters. Number 8, seek bigger problems. Bigger problems equals a bigger man. The bigger problems and challenges that you overcome, the better you get. So go into the discomfort, chase those bigger problems, try and overcome those challenges, become to a next level. Every level has a devil. Think of it as game, like life is a game, and just keep going up, being like, right, what's the biggest person I need to defeat at this level? And obviously that's a metaphor. What's the biggest challenge I need to overcome at this level is probably a better way of saying it. What's the next one? What's the next one? Next time. Keep overcoming that challenge. It's like my challenges now are completely different to when they were, 10 years ago, when my challenges was like whether I wanted to be here on this planet or not anymore. Now my challenges and issues and problems are just a little bit different, right? They're a little bit high level. We're always going to have problems. We're always going to get challenges. But if you go, right, I'm going to get this challenge, I'm going to go through it because I know it's making me better, and you keep going like that, you'll live a happy and amazing life because you'll have so much growth, right? You won't avoid the problems, you'll just keep going into it. And it kind of leads on to number 9. It's all a gift. The problems, the challenges, everything, it's a blessing or it's a lesson. That's the only two. A failure isn't a blessing or it's a lesson. I don't think we quite take this understanding. Like I have such this appreciation for life that everything is working out for me. Even if it doesn't seem like it right now, I know that it's working out for me. So there's no reason to hold any negative emotions to things. I'm like, cool, everything's working out. Everything's working out. Just recently there was someone who didn't want to continue with one of the programs and sent some emails quite late at night and all this type of stuff. And I was like, interesting, wonder why this is happening. And I was like, right, it's going to make me step up to be a better leader and to handle these situations. So I was like, right, there's no avoiding it. There's no sending emails back. It's like, let's pick up the phone, and let's sort this out. And so that is the challenge that came. And I'm like, thank you for coming. Thank you for this challenge. This is the way to look at it. Life is a gift. Everything is happening for you. Everything is helping you. Everything works out for you. If you have that mindset, then it will change. Now, it might just take a little bit of time, but it will change. And this leads on to number 10 as well. 3 of those are very similar, but number 10 is do something that scares you daily. Push yourself outside of your comfort zone. Comfort is the enemy of success. Comfort zones kill men. It's the worst place you can be, just living in your comfort zone. Why? Because it's familiar and nothing will ever change because it's your comfort zone. That's the zone that you live in. So if we understand that, we've just got to go, right, what is the best thing that I can do today that's going to push me outside my comfort zone? Every single morning, write something down and go, what's going to push myself outside my comfort zone today? Maybe it's an ice bath. That's why I love ice baths. Every morning I do an ice bath or cold exposure, not because of the health benefits, like I know there's a range of them, but because it's hard. Because it's at 4 a.m. when I get up, it's like, it's not the first thing that I want to do. It's probably one of the last things that I want to do, but I do it because it's hard and it's pushing me outside my comfort zone. And it's the same as everything I do. I go to the gym, I work out hard because it pushes me outside my comfort zone. I call people because I want to push myself out of my comfort zone. I keep doing all of these things because I know that life is on the other side of the comfort zone, and that's where growth is too. So understand that everything is a bigger problem. Seek those bigger problems that are going to push you outside your comfort zone, and everything's a gift, whether you fail at that or you just get a blessing or a lesson, and then you do something that's going to push you into that comfort zone every single day, or outside of the comfort zone every single day. But doing those things alone isn't enough until you do number 11, which is be a river, not a dam. Let your energy, your wisdom, and your value flow through you. Think about like, you know, a dam stops things, it blocks things up. Now, if there's no flow in the dam, the water gets quite stale, you know, and it gets quite yucky. So that's the same with us. We might get quite stale, we might get quite dirty, we might get quite stale and yucky if we stay stuck and we dam ourselves too much, right? So let things flow. Don't hold on to things. Don't hold on to these things, especially things that don't need to be held on to. You know, sometimes we want to hold on to these things because we live in this lack that we don't want to hold on to this and not tell this other person. We want to hold it for ourselves to make ourselves look good or feel good or whatever it is. So just let it flow. Let your value, let your wisdom, let your energy flow through you. Yeah, and that in itself is going to just make you so much more clearer and cleaner, and people are going to connect with you more because of that. You know, if someone want to say something, like, don't hold these things for yourself, okay? And by doing that, you kind of go on to number 12 by doing those things, and number 12 is build others up. And so the more that you let the river flow and you let things out, you push out wisdom and energy and value to others, you're actually building others up at the same time, right? So praise people in public, and if you need to challenge or criticize people, do it in private. No one wants to do it in front of everyone else, and if you feel like you need to do it in front of everyone else, that's your ego that needs a hit, not someone else's, and it's not what the person needs. If you need to challenge someone or criticize someone, do it in private, right? Unless it's a coaching environment, you know, of course, you're maybe not going to do it in public, so in private. However, if it's criticism in your workplace or to your family as well, like if you want to criticize, like, or give some feedback to someone in your family, don't do it when everyone else is around. Pull them aside and do it that. They're going to trust you much better. Focus on lifting people up, building people up. We live in a world where everyone's trying to pull each other down unconsciously because they don't even know that, but they want to make themselves feel better by pulling others down. And this is the tall poppy syndrome. But if you go the opposite, what you put out, you get back. If you build others up, you're actually building yourself up at the same time, and we all rise together. That's the point of this. You know, like, I'm not here and people talk to me or they join our programs and I'm not pulling them down and trying to, you know, tell them how bad they are or what they need to be doing or having go at them. No, I'm trying to lift them up. And that's the go. We all lift together. We all rise together. And that's a very key point. So build others up. But in doing that too, the next point, protect your energy. You got to be very mindful. There's some people who would just suck your energy, just energy vampires. Now, in a non-judgmental sense, that's just who they are right now. You know, that's just the role that they're playing in society and what's best for them. We just limit our time with them, right? Be mindful that you're not trading your peace for popularity. A lot of people, they might, you know, try and fit in, or they might try and do something or say something or put themselves out to be liked by others. But that's a slippery downhill slope, right? By doing that, all of these people-pleasing behaviors and trying to help others out with putting yourself out. Like, don't get me wrong, it's good to help others, but if you're doing it constantly and you're putting everyone else first, not you, you're not protecting your energy. So protect your energy, put people first, but only if you put yourself first at the same time. You know, do it for both. It's not a win-win, don't do it. That's a very key point to understand. Number 14, and this is a very big one that a lot of people don't realize, buy back your time so you can focus on things that are more important for you. You know, like, there's no reason why most people shouldn't be doing those little chores around the house and eating or cooking or shopping. Eating, of course, but I mean cooking and shopping and cleaning and the housework. Like, there's no real reason. Like, if you're a top 1%, you're a business owner or you're wanting to create freedom for yourself, if you're just going to sit on the couch, then it's probably not worth it. However, if you're sitting on the couch with your family, then it might be worth it, right? Just assess where it is for you. That's a very scarcity mindset and a lack mindset by not outsourcing things. You know, time is the only thing that we have. If you can pay $100 a week and get some tasks done for yourself, so you gain, you know, a few hours, 5-10 hours a week, you'll be surprised how much time we waste. If you add up 5 to 10 hours a week or even 15 hours a week, that's a lot of hours over a year. And if you do that over how many years, like, you'll be surprised how many more hours you get to spend with your loved ones, with your kids, because there'll be a time when you don't have any more hours. There's no more days for you. Your time is up. And you're going to wish that you had just one more hour, and you would pay so much for that one more hour. But you spent all of these hours doing stuff that was useless, pointless, that someone else would love to do it, that you would be helping someone else pay their own bills by doing it. So change your mindset on that. Buy back your time so you can focus on things that are more important for you. Number 15, don't overthink. Overthinking is the worst thing that you can do. And so many people, they allow their mind to start thinking too much. Action kills that, right? Just when you're gonna do something, do it. You don't need to think about it, because your mind is very good at making stories. And the more stories that you make up, the further off track you get. You might be here, and then you start telling stories about things, and you start coming all the way over to here, and you're telling a story that's got no relevance to anything. But you've just gone down this story path, this path all the way down to the, story time over here. And it's a waste of time, because we just haven't been able to control your mind. Control the things you think about. It's so important. So I hear so many times people say, like, I'm overthinking. What can I do to overthink? I'm like, control your mind, work on yourself, involve yourself in personal development, train your mind, meditate. But no one's willing to do that. They just want a quick little fix, like I'm gonna give them one magic line that's gonna say, here, you'll never overthink again. No, but you've got to pull out the triggers, like what's going underneath that for me to overthink? What's the fears, the doubts, the worries, the anxiousness, whatever is under the surface? That's what's causing the overthinking, not so much the overthinking or the situation. It's what we think and feel about the situation. So control your mind, train your mind. How I train my mind, I meditate every single day. Now, I don't know if you believe in karma or not, but the Buddhists say with karma that when you're meditating, every time your mind wanders off and you bring it back, that's like a little bit of good karma. So each time you do that, your mind is meant to think. We can't have it just clear, calm with not thinking. That's just not the way it is. It's like your heart just doesn't stop beating. You want it to constantly beat. It's the same as your mind. That's what it does. Your heart beats, your mind thinks, your lungs breathe. That's just what it is. So it's not about stopping it, but it's allowing us to control our minds, to dictate what we want to think about, right? And we do that by training your mind. There'll be some videos if you go through my channel around overthinking, and there's actually one recently that we did, 12 ways to stop overthinking, if you want to go deeper onto that video. Number 16, we're nearly there. Think 10x, bigger vision, better results, stronger leadership. Think bigger. You can do so much more than what you think. So many people, we dream too small. We have small dreams and we don't allow ourselves to think bigger, to think more, to think higher. If you could, you would understand. And I always use this example, like, if you're like, right, I want to make an extra $10,000 a month in side hustle or whatever it might be. So you're like, what am I going to do? $10,000? Like maybe I'm only making 5 at the moment or 2. I want to make an extra 10. It seems like a lot. But if you start going, I'm going to make an extra, if you 10x that, say I'm going to want to make an extra $10,000, so $100,000 a month, all of a sudden that 10,000 target looks so small because you've made this vision much bigger. You've 10x that. Now, if you get not even a quarter of the way, you're still over past that $10,000 target that you first set. But you're thinking bigger. You start visualizing things of like, wow, what am I going to have to do to try and get to that 10x version of you? Personally, like I have some big goals, but I make them even bigger. I'm like, what would this look like? And so I'm visualizing them and I start acting different because I'm like, wow, like this is what I'm getting to. This is what I'm working towards. It's such an underrated little thing, but it's so powerful, 10x. Get a bigger vision for your life. And that vision doesn't have to be a world-changing vision, but just make a better vision for yourself, a bigger vision for yourself. Number 17, create your own luck. Luck isn't someone that just happens to someone. Luck is something that is created. Like you create your own luck, Take the shot, show up, work hard, be ready for it. And expect it. Expect miracles. Expect that you're lucky. Have you ever heard people say they're like, oh, I'm just lucky, or like good things happen to me? It's because they expect it to happen. So start asking yourself too, like, where was I lucky today? And start filtering the world for it. You'll see that you'll do that. Every single day, I mentioned this just before, but I always say to myself, everything always works out for me. And so I'm looking for the things in my reality to show me that everything's working out. And when I do this, it's like synchronicities. All these different little things are like, everything's working out, everything's working out, everything's working out. You know, car parks, I'm getting car parks right out the front because everything's working out. And I'm just constantly going, everything's working out for me. And it's so amazing. You know, we literally can choose what we want to see when we have this awareness. So if you want to create your own luck, you do that by saying, I'm so lucky. What's in my world that's giving me luck? You know, literally we have a roof over our head. We can go down to the supermarket and get everything that we want. We're so lucky. If we focus on that, you'll find it, right? And then you'll probably attract more circumstances and situations into your life to fuel that belief that you are lucky. Because your beliefs then create your actions, and your actions then they fuel those beliefs 100% of the time. So if you believe that you're lucky, you will create actions that are in line to fuel that belief again, right? So you just got to keep changing those beliefs and keep rewiring those beliefs in and keep repeating them to yourself, and you'll find that your reality starts to shift. It won't take a long time, but it will take some time, right? Just understand, it's not going to happen overnight. Otherwise our thoughts would create reality so quickly, and we'd think about a red elephant and all of a sudden there'd be a red elephant sitting here. So there has to be that time to catch up, right? And also understand there's that ripple effect or the echo effect. It's like we might be believing one thing, and that belief is rippling out. Then it hits the mirror, because life is a mirror, and it comes back to us. But if we put out a new belief, we've got to wait for that one to go out and come back again. So it's like that old one's still in the process of coming back to us, because it's just how it goes. It's like a ripple that's coming before the new one comes. So there's just going to be a little bit of time before it starts showing up. But just stay loyal to your new beliefs and your new decisions that you make about yourself and of your life. Now, number 18, be hungry and humble. This is a key point. So many people say to me that they're impressed by how humble I am. Because yeah, like I'm no better or worse than anyone else. We're just all the same. You know, what I'm doing, I might just be further down the path on this, but there's a lot of people that know a lot more than me, but I'm super hungry on where I want to go. You know, I'm ruthless with my actions, with who I want to become. But I'm humble and so grateful for getting the chance to do that. Grateful for now, but obsessed for more, right? And so this is what I was saying. Be graciously dissatisfied. So you're grateful for what you got, but you're dissatisfied and you want more. That's the point there. Be hungry for more, but be so humble and grateful that what you have. Then you'll just keep moving forward. You know, God, universe, source, spirit, whatever your belief, won't give you any more if you're not grateful for what you've got. So be super grateful, super happy, super blessed for what you've got, but still be hungry for more. There's nothing wrong with that. Number 19, serve others. Make it your life, make it about lifting others up, right? Make it all about helping others. If you help others, or enough others, get what they want in life, you'll get what you want in life. Now, when we say serve others, it's not necessarily about putting yourself out and putting everyone else first and running yourself down because you're trying to serve everyone else. You're still protecting yourself, but you're serving others. If you do enough for others and help enough others get what they want, anything that you want in your life will come to you. You know, like if you help others be a better version of themselves, make more money, you know, build their businesses, get in a better relationship. If you help others get to that level and get more and solve bigger problems for them, you'll get everything that you want in your life. You know, lift others up, help others, serve others, and you'll live a happy and fulfilled life. I can tell you, I used to build a lot of bridges and a lot of big civil projects, but also some houses and some really cool things in construction. And I used to love building. I still kind of do enjoy it. Not that I do it anymore. However, it was good to see the finished product, right? But I can tell you now, the ability that I have to help and create transformation in men and people in general, and the results that they get, that fulfillment that comes from that, and hearing the testimonials and the results that the men get and the wins and all the things, it's so much more fulfilling than any bridge or construction project that I ever built. So serve others, right? 21, play the long game. This is a very key point because a lot of people, I would almost say, suffer with instant gratification. They want things now. You know, short-term hits won't build a legacy. A lot of people financially, they want to make money really quick, but think about the long game. You know, wealth is built over time, not now, right? So just understand that and think long-term. It may even take longer. Like if you want to really create so much amazing things in your life, whether it's health, whether it's fitness, whether it's relationships, whether it's finances, whether it's business, whether it's any area of life, just give yourself a couple of years and go hard onto that, right? A couple of years, that's all it takes. I always say too, it's like, you know, a lot of people, they might want to create some kind of freedom for themselves financially, and they won't be prepared to put in 5 years. Now think about it, it just doesn't make any sense. Imagine on average, let's just say someone works 50 years of their life, keep things round. So they've got 50 years of their life working, being a slave to their boss. You know, money's pretty much controlling them, right? But people aren't willing to take 5 of those years of sacrifice and hard work to build freedom for themselves, to be free for the rest of those 45 years. To me, that makes no logical sense. So if this message, that resonates with you, just give yourself 5 years. One of my first mentors, it was like, it's been 12 months and the business hasn't got to where I want to be, and I was all like, you know, maybe I'm not cut out for this. Might have been a little bit longer, might have been 18 months. And he pretty much said, rather than thinking, I've been doing this for this long, he said, on average, businesses take 7 to 10 years to make their first million. And so he was like, rather than saying you've been going for 12, 18 months, say you still have 5, 6 years left. And instantly I just felt all of this pressure come off me. I was like, wow, like it doesn't have to be done now. That was a very, very pivotal moment for me. Like I wasn't stressing and thinking that it needed to be done quicker, but now I'm so much more effective. I'm getting so much more done and having such better results now because I don't have that pressure. And we've been in business at the time of filming for 4.5 years now, and it's been an amazing journey. And I can tell you now that the results are getting better and better and better, and it's because we're playing the long game. Like I'm not just here for a little bit. Like I wouldn't be spending so much time filming all these YouTube videos if I wasn't playing the long game. And so I understand that, and I know that I sacrifice for a small bit of time to create so much more in the future. Instant gratification, falling victim to that will destroy you, literally. Everything, there's porn, there's gambling, there's Uber Eats, there's all sorts of things that is like right there. Social media, it's right there. But we've got to delay that gratification, play the long game. And lastly, final point, there is no final destination. The final destination is you're dead, right? None of us are getting out of this alive. But there's no point to reach before then, right? It's about the journey. As cliche as it sounds, it's all about the journey. It's about who you become in that journey. There's no end date, there's no end point along this journey, because we're all going to end up in the hole once. So if I put this in a practical term, it's not about going, okay, cool, like I want to get to this point in my life and have this level of freedom, and then after that, everything will be fine. Like that's one way to get to that point and be super unhappy and unfulfilled. They say on average 73% of men pass away some way, shape or form within 12 months after they retire, because they lose purpose. So if you climb a mountain and you get to the top of a mountain, make sure that you go after the next mountain, because if there's only one way to go if you're on top of the mountain, and that's down, right? So a lot of people do that. So there's no final destination. Fall in love with the journey, as cliche as it sounds. Fall in love with becoming the man that you want to become. Keep chasing that 5-year future self, keep going further and further and further, man, you'll live such a happy and fulfilled life. Now the world doesn't need any more average men. There's plenty in there, right? As I said right at the start, this has been a longer video. There's been so many men who don't have abs and aren't a millionaire. So easy to be great these days. We don't need any more of them. We need people who are going to change the world. We need dangerous in a good way men, like dangerously effective, right? We need disciplined men. We need men who are dedicated, men who have decided on who they want to be. Now you've got the blueprint, you've got the 21 rules, the principles that allow you to do that. Implement it. Be one of those ones who go through this, write them all down and start implementing them, and just have that daily list of like, this is what I got to do. Remind yourself every single day. You've got the blueprint, you've just got to run the play now. So let me know how you went with this. Please, as always, if you need anything, let me know. I put out so much of this free content. We put a lot of effort and money into producing these things for you just like that. So if you could do one thing, and if you haven't, like and subscribe, and then also share this with someone who might be benefit, it will help us greatly. It will help the world by passing it on. I love you, I appreciate you. If there's anything I can do, let me know, and I'll see you on the next one. You made it to the end of the video. You are the true top 1%. Now, don't forget to like and comment below what you got, your biggest takeaway was. I love hearing that. Tell me what you think. Tell me what you liked. Tell me what you didn't like, the biggest insight, realization. I read them all, and I like seeing what you got from this. Now, if you'd also like to grab my copy of my free ebook, 4 Rules Any Man Can Follow to Radically Transform His Life, click on the link down below in the description in this video. And if you love this video, you can check out some of the other videos on here, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one.